You ever notice how we treat transformation like it's this massive mountain we need to climb? Like one day we'll wake up, quit our jobs, join a gym, meditate for an hour, meal prep for the week, and suddenly become a different person? But here's what actually happens. We get overwhelmed, we quit, we scroll through our phones at 2 a.m., wondering why we can't just be better. What if I told you that the most powerful changes don't come from grand gestures? They come from moments so small you almost wouldn't notice them. 30 seconds here, 1 minute there. This is about the revolution nobody's talking about, the one that happens in bathroom mirrors, cold showers, and morning walks, the one that doesn't shout, it whispers. The most effective path to lasting health isn't through drastic lifestyle overhauls. It's through micro habits, small, consistent actions that take less than 2 minutes but compound over time. These exercise snacks, moment-based practices, and daily rituals work because they bypass our brain's resistance to change while triggering powerful physiological responses. Unlike traditional wellness approaches that demand willpower, micro-habits integrate seamlessly into existing routines, making transformation inevitable rather than forced. Part 1. The Movement Revolution. The Kitchen Counter Awakening. There's this moment that happens in almost every home. You're standing in the kitchen, maybe you're waiting for coffee to brew, maybe the microwave is humming. 45 seconds of nothing. Your phone is probably in your pocket, fingers already twitching toward that familiar pull. Email, news, something to fill the void of existing without distraction. But what if those 45 seconds weren't empty? What if they were an invitation? 10 squats. That's it. No gym clothes, no stretching routine, no motivational playlist. Just you, the kitchen floor, and movement so brief it barely registers as exercise. Sounds ridiculous, right? Too small to matter? Except here's what happens when you do those 10 squats. Your metabolism wakes up. Blood that was pooling in your legs starts circulating. Glucose that was floating in your bloodstream gets pulled into your muscles. Your brain receives signals that say, "We're alive, we're active, stay sharp," and nobody watching would even know it happened. The invisible transformation. We've been taught that exercise means suffering, sweat dripping, muscles burning, that voice in your head screaming at you to stop. We believe that if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't count. But your body doesn't think in those terms. Your body responds to frequency, not just intensity. Imagine two people. The first wakes up at 5 a.m., powers through a brutal 60-minute workout, then sits at a desk for 9 hours straight. The second never steps foot in a gym, but moves for 1 to 2 minutes every hour throughout the day. Who do you think has the healthier metabolic profile? Studies suggest it's often the second person, because movement isn't just about burning calories, it's about keeping your internal systems engaged. It's like keeping a fire burning by adding small pieces of wood throughout the day, rather than dumping all the wood in at once and watching it slowly die out. Your body craves consistency, not intensity. The psychology of the possible. Here's where it gets interesting. When you think about working out, your brain immediately calculates the cost: time, energy, discomfort, scheduling. The mental load is enormous before you even start. But when the action takes 60 seconds, the brain doesn't have time to build that wall of resistance. You're done before the excuses can form. This isn't laziness, this is strategy. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones with the most willpower. They're the ones who remove the need for willpower entirely. Start with triggers, moments in your day that already exist. Phone rings, wall push-ups while you talk, kettle boiling, calf raises, brushing teeth, single leg balance, commercial break, plank. You're not adding time to your day, you're adding life to your time. The metabolic truth nobody tells you. When you sit for hours, your body shifts into conservation mode. Blood sugar rises, fat storage increases, energy plummets. This isn't about being lazy, it's about biochemistry. But interrupt that sitting with just 2 minutes of movement, your body gets the message, we're not hibernating, stay ready. This is especially powerful for blood sugar control. After you eat, glucose floods your bloodstream. If you remain sedentary, that glucose lingers, potentially causing insulin spikes and crashes. But if you move, even briefly, your muscles act like sponges, pulling that glucose in for immediate use. No medication, no supplements, just movement. What's one daily moment where you're already waiting for coffee, for an elevator, for a file to download that could become a movement opportunity? Drop your answer in the comments. Part 2. The balance that predicts your future. The toothbrush test. Every morning you stand in front of the bathroom mirror, toothbrush in hand, mind wandering through the day ahead, replaying yesterday's conversations, planning, worrying, existing everywhere except right here. It's automatic, mindless, forgettable. Now lift one foot. Suddenly, everything changes. You're wobbling, maybe grabbing the counter. Your core tightens. Your brain snaps into the present moment because it has to. Balance demands your full attention. This isn't about oral hygiene anymore. This is about longevity. The hidden connection. There's research that links balance ability directly to lifespan, not as a metaphor, as a measurable predictor. People who can't balance on one leg for more than 10 seconds have significantly higher mortality rates, not because poor balance kills you, but because it indicates what's happening beneath the surface: weakening neural connections, declining muscle coordination, fading proprioception. Proprioception, your body's ability to know where it is in space without looking. The invisible sixth sense that keeps you upright, prevents falls, and maintains independence as you age. When you stand on one leg, you're not just testing balance, you're training an entire network. Inner ear, brain, muscles, nerves, all communicating in real time to keep you stable. The silent decline. Most people don't notice their balance deteriorating until it's too late, until the fall, until the fracture, until life suddenly narrows. Because we live on smooth floors, in supportive shoes, grabbing railings, avoiding risks. Our bodies never get challenged, so they never stay sharp. Standing on one leg while brushing your teeth is a daily challenge disguised as nothing. It takes zero extra time, requires no equipment, costs nothing. But over years, decades, it's the difference between confidence and fear, between exploring the world and being afraid of stairs. Start simple, 10 seconds on each foot, eyes open. When that feels easy, increase duration. Then close your eyes. That's when it gets real. Without visual input, your brain must rely entirely on proprioception. It's humbling, it's harder than you think, and it's one of the most valuable things you'll do all day. Reflection question. Can you balance on one leg for 30 seconds with your eyes closed right now? Try it and tell us what happened in the comments. The 30-second revolution. The shower is warm, steam rising, tension melting from your shoulders. It's comfort, it's routine, it's safe. And then, for just 30 seconds, you turn the dial all the way to cold. Your first instinct is to jump out. Every cell in your body screams, no, absolutely not. But if you stay, if you breathe through it, something extraordinary happens. The biology of discomfort. Cold water hits your skin and your nervous system jolts awake. Heart rate spikes, breathing deepens, your body releases a flood of dopamine. Not the artificial dopamine from social media or sugar, but clean, sustained dopamine that elevates mood naturally for hours. This is called cold shock response, and it's your body's ancient survival mechanism kicking in. It's not danger, it's activation. People who practice regular cold exposure report feeling sharper, calmer, more resilient. Not because they're tough, because they've taught their nervous system that discomfort doesn't equal danger. The mental edge. Here's what most people miss. Cold showers aren't really about your body. They're about your mind. Every morning you're faced with a choice, comfort or growth.
the easy path or the challenging one. When you voluntarily choose discomfort, you build discipline. You train your brain to override that voice that says, "This is too hard, give up, stay comfortable." And that skill, that ability to sit with discomfort without panicking, transfers to everything else: difficult conversations, creative challenges, emotional pain. Cold water teaches you that you can handle more than you think. The immunity connection. Beyond the mental benefits, cold exposure has profound physical effects. When blood vessels constrict and then dilate, circulation improves dramatically. White blood cells become more active. Your immune system sharpens. People who practice cold showers often notice they get sick less frequently. Recovery from illness happens faster. Inflammation decreases. It's not magic. It's stress, but the right kind. Brief, controlled stress that makes your body stronger rather than breaking it down. Practical application. You don't need to be extreme. Start with the last 10 seconds of your shower, then 20, then 30. Breathe deeply. Don't fight it. Let your body adapt. And notice what happens when you step out. That rush, that clarity, that quiet pride. What's one area of your life where you consistently choose comfort over growth? Share honestly. This community supports real talk.
Part 4. The voice you forgot. The car confession. You're driving alone, radio off, silence filling the space. And then a song comes on, one that reaches into your chest and pulls something loose. You could just listen like you usually do, or you could sing, loud, unfiltered, not for anyone else, just for you. Most of us stopped singing when we grew up. Someone told us we sounded bad, or we became self-conscious, or we just forgot that singing wasn't about performance, it was about release. The nerve that changes everything. There's a nerve in your body called the vagus nerve. It runs from your brain through your throat, down to your heart, lungs, and gut. It's the main highway of your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that calms you down, helps you digest, regulates your mood. When you sing, especially when you sing loudly, you stimulate this nerve. Vibrations in your throat directly activate it, sending signals to your brain. We're safe. We're okay. Relax. This is why singing feels so cathartic. It's not psychological placebo. It's physiological fact. The stress we carry. Modern life keeps us in constant alert mode. Notifications, deadlines, traffic, noise. Your nervous system thinks there's always a threat, so cortisol, your stress hormone, stays elevated. Chronic high cortisol leads to anxiety, poor sleep, weight gain, brain fog. We try to manage it with apps, supplements, therapy, all valuable. But sometimes the simplest tool is your own voice. When you sing, your breathing naturally deepens and slows. This rhythmic breathing pattern directly activates the vagus nerve to activate relaxation mode. Cortisol drops, endorphins rise, mood lifts. You don't need perfect pitch, you need permission to be loud. The forgotten expression. Think about how often you hold back your voice, literally and metaphorically. How often you swallow words, suppress emotions, stay quiet to avoid judgment. Singing out loud in your car, in your shower, in your home with the door closed. It's practice for letting your voice exist without apology. And that practice changes you. Slowly, you become someone who speaks up, who expresses, who doesn't shrink. Practical application. Pick one song, just one. Sing it every day, in the shower, in the car,
wherever you have privacy. Don't judge your voice. Don't hold back. Let it be messy and loud and imperfect. Notice how you feel afterward. Lighter, calmer, more alive? That's not coincidence. That's your nervous system remembering how to breathe. What's the last song that made you want to sing at the top of your lungs? Drop the title below. Let's make a community playlist. Part 5. The light that resets everything. The morning scroll trap. Your alarm goes off. Without thinking, your hand reaches for your phone. Email, messages, news, social media. 20 minutes vanish. Your eyes are tired. Your mind is already racing with other people's urgency. Your body is awake, but your brain is confused because screens emit blue light that mimics midday sun, but it's artificial, concentrated, and chaotic. Your circadian rhythm doesn't know what to do with this signal, so you spend the whole day feeling slightly off, foggy, sluggish. Then night comes and you can't sleep. The cycle repeats. The morning clock. Your body doesn't run on discipline. It runs on light. Inside you is an internal clock called your circadian rhythm. It governs when you feel alert, when you feel hungry, when you produce hormones, when you sleep. This clock is set by light, specifically by natural sunlight entering your eyes in the first 1 to 2 hours after waking. When you get that morning light exposure, your brain releases cortisol, which is healthy in the morning. It helps you wake up and focus. Melatonin production stops. Your entire system syncs with the day. But when you skip morning light and stare at screens instead, that synchronization never happens. You drift through the day misaligned, fighting your own biology. The nighttime consequence. Here's the part most people miss. Morning light doesn't just affect your morning. It affects your entire day, especially your sleep. When your circadian rhythm is properly set in the morning, your body knows when melatonin production starts again. Roughly 14 to 16 hours later, you naturally start feeling tired at the right time. Sleep comes easier. It's deeper. But if you never set that morning anchor, your brain doesn't know when night begins. Melatonin production becomes erratic. Sleep becomes a struggle. The solution isn't sleeping pills, it's sunlight. The mood connection. Sunlight exposure also directly influences serotonin production, the neurotransmitter responsible for mood, motivation, and emotional stability. This is why seasonal depression happens when daylight hours shrink, why people feel better after being outside, why indoor artificial light-only lifestyles correlate with higher rates of anxiety and depression. 10 minutes outside in natural light does more for your mood than an hour scrolling motivational content. Practical application. Step outside within 2 hours of waking. That's it. You don't need to exercise. You don't need to meditate. Just be outside where your eyes can receive natural light. Balcony, porch, park, driveway. It doesn't matter. Even cloudy days work. Natural light is still significantly stronger than indoor lighting. No sunglasses unless medically necessary. No windows. Glass blocks the specific wavelengths you need. Just you and the sky. If your morning is rushed, combine it with something else. Drink your coffee outside. Take a phone call while walking. Wait for your ride in the open air. This single habit will change your energy, your sleep, and your mood more than almost anything else. What time did you first see natural sunlight today? Be honest, most of us realize we haven't seen real daylight in days. Let's change that together. FAQs section. Q1. How long do these micro habits actually take to show results? The beauty of micro habits is that some effects are immediate while others compound over time. Cold showers boost mood and alertness within minutes. Morning sunlight improves that day's energy and that night's sleep. Singing reduces stress in real time. However, the deeper transformations, metabolic changes from movement snacks, balance improvements, circadian rhythm optimization, become most noticeable after 2 to 4 weeks of consistency. The key isn't perfection, it's frequency. Missing one day doesn't erase progress, but stringing together consistent small actions creates exponential change. Think of it like compound interest for your body. Q2. What if I miss a day or can't maintain consistency? This is where micro habits have a massive advantage over traditional wellness approaches. There's no falling off the wagon. If you miss a morning walk, you haven't ruined anything. You just catch the next sunrise. If you skip a cold shower, you take one tomorrow. The low barrier to entry means restarting is effortless. Guilt and shame are the real enemies of lasting change, and micro habits eliminate them by design. Each moment is a fresh opportunity. You're never more than 24 hours away from getting back on track. And because each action takes less than 2 minutes, the mental resistance to restarting is minimal. Q3. Can these small actions really replace regular exercise? They're not meant to replace structured exercise. They're meant to make movement non-negotiable in your life, regardless of whether you make it to the gym. Think of micro habits as the foundation and formal workouts as the bonus. For someone completely sedentary, movement snacks can dramatically improve metabolic health, blood sugar control, and cardiovascular function. For someone already active, they prevent the damage of prolonged sitting and keep the body primed throughout the day. The research is clear. Sitting for 8 hours and then exercising for 1 hour is less healthy than moving intermittently all day. Both is ideal, but if you had to choose, frequency beats intensity. Q4. Why do these habits work when bigger changes fail? Because they bypass the part of your brain that resists change. When you announce, "I'm going to work out an hour every day," your brain calculates the full cost, time, effort, discomfort, schedule disruption, and builds resistance. But when the action takes 30 seconds, there's no time to build that wall. Additionally, micro habits succeed because they attach to existing routines, brushing teeth, showering, waking up, which means you're leveraging established neural pathways rather than trying to create entirely new behaviors. Finally, small wins build momentum and identity. When you successfully balance on one leg every morning, you begin seeing yourself as someone who takes care of their health, which makes the next healthy choice easier. Conclusion: the revolution nobody sees. Here's what we've been taught about transformation. It requires sacrifice, discipline, massive effort, complete life overhauls. Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, meal prep on Sundays, hit the gym 6 days a week, journal, read, optimize, hustle. And for a week, maybe 2, we do it. We're motivated, we're committed. Then life happens. A bad day, a busy week, 1 missed workout becomes 2, becomes a month. We feel like failures, so we quit entirely and return to old patterns, now with an added layer of shame. But what if the problem was never your willpower? What if it was the approach itself? The power of invisible change. Everything we've explored today, movement snacks, balance practice, cold showers, singing, morning light, these aren't dramatic. They won't trend on social media. Nobody will congratulate you. But in 10 years, 20, the difference will be undeniable. You'll be the person who still moves with confidence, who sleeps deeply, who faces stress without crumbling, who maintained independence, vitality, and joy while others faded. Not because you were more disciplined, because you were smarter about where you placed your effort. The compound effect. A 1-minute action seems meaningless in isolation, but repeated daily over a year, that's 365 minutes, over 6 hours of accumulated practice. Over a decade, that's 60+ hours of balance training while brushing your teeth, thousands of metabolic boosts from movement snacks, hundreds of nervous system resets from cold exposure. Small actions don't stay small, they multiply. The identity shift. Here's the real transformation. When you stack these micro habits, you stop being someone who tries to be healthy and become someone who simply is. You don't think about balancing on one leg anymore. It's just what you do while brushing your teeth. Cold showers aren't a challenge, they're how you wake up. Singing in the car isn't weird, it's your therapy. Morning sunlight isn't a task, it's how you greet the day. Your identity shifts so gradually you barely notice. But one day you realize you're not forcing yourself anymore. These actions have become part of who you are. The permission you've been waiting for. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to transform your life, for motivation to strike, for circumstances to align, for some magical moment when you'll finally have it all together, this is your permission to stop waiting. You don't need a new life. You need new moments within the life you already have. 30 seconds of cold water, 1 minute of squats, 2 minutes in the morning sun. That's it. That's the revolution. Not loud, not flashy, not Instagram-worthy, but real, sustainable, transformative. Your next move. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one, just one of these micro habits. Not all of them. That's the old way of thinking. One. Tomorrow morning, do that one thing, then the next day, and the next. Don't track it obsessively. Don't measure outcomes. Don't judge yourself. Just do it. And when it becomes automatic, when you stop thinking about it, add another. This is how real change happens, not in grand declarations, but in quiet, consistent action. Your future self is built in moments like these, moments so small they seem insignificant. But strung together, they become a life. If this resonated with you, if something in this story felt like it was speaking directly to your life, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me, which micro habit are you going to start with? What's the one small action that feels possible right now? And if this video helped you see change differently, share it with someone who's been stuck, someone who thinks they need to overhaul their entire life to feel better. Send them this. Let them know there's another way. Don't forget to like this video. It helps more people find these ideas. Subscribe to Ladder Up English so you don't miss future stories about making life better without making it harder. We're building something here, a community of people who believe in the power of small, consistent action. People who understand that transformation doesn't have to be loud to be real. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for believing that your life can change, starting with the next 30 seconds. Now go do that one thing. Your future is waiting.